Deep within the ancient, whispering woods of Russia, where shadows clung thickly to gnarled oak trees and the air hummed with unseen magic, a profound disturbance unsettled the very roots of the forest. Baba Yaga, the formidable witch who dwelled in a hut perched atop gigantic chicken legs, discovered her most essential tool was missing. Her heavy wooden mortar, the companion to her pestle that allowed her to soar through the night sky, had vanished. This was no mere misplacement. The mortar possessed its own ancient spirit, bound to Baba Yaga through centuries. Without it, her flight was impossible. Her power felt diminished, and a deep, unfamiliar ache settled in her iron bones. She scanned the darkening woods from her creaking porch, her sharp eyes narrowed, sensing a strange emptiness where the mortar's presence should resonate far from the witch's unsettling domain. In a small village nestled beside the woods, lived a quiet girl named Anya. Anya possessed a heart unusually open to the world's hidden wonders, often feeling the subtle moods of the forest. One crisp autumn evening, while gathering late mushrooms near the treeline, she heard a sound unlike any bird or beast. A low, rhythmic sobbing, like stone grinding against stone, filled with profound loneliness. Following the mournful sound, Anya pushed through a thicket of silver birch and discovered a large, ornately carved wooden mortar half buried in fallen leaves. It seemed ancient, pulsing with a faint, warm light, and tears like liquid moonlight seeped from its grain, forming tiny luminous flowers where they touched the earth. Anya felt an immediate surge of compassion for the clearly sentient object. Anya knew the terrifying tales of Baba Yaga, the witch who lived deep within the forest's heart. The stories spoke of iron teeth, a taste for the unwary, and her flying mortar and pestle. Seeing the intricate carvings, Anya understood this must belong to the fearsome witch. A chill unrelated to the autumn air swept over her. Returning it meant venturing into perilous territory, facing a being who inspired dread. Yet the mortar's deep, resonant sorrow, its palpable sense of being lost and adrift, tugged fiercely at her gentle spirit. How could she leave it weeping in the dark? Gathering her courage, Anya carefully brushed the leaves away. Hush now, she whispered softly, her voice trembling only slightly. I know where you belong. I will take you home. The mortar's sobbing softened to a faint, hopeful hum. The journey into the deep woods felt like stepping into another world. Ancient trees loomed like silent giants, their branches forming a tangled roof that blocked out the stars. Strange rustlings followed Anya, and glowing eyes watched from the gloom. The path, barely visible, seemed to twist and turn of its own accord. Anya clutched the mortar tightly, its solid weight a strange comfort. It pulsed gently against her arms, sometimes humming a low, guiding note when the path forked, as if it recognized the way it was heavy, and fear was a constant companion, whispering of Baba Yaga's legendary wrath. But Anya pressed on, driven by her promise to the lost mortar, and the profound empathy she felt for its loneliness. The luminous tears it had shed now marked their path like tiny, fading stars. Finally, after what felt like hours navigating the oppressive darkness, a terrifying sight emerged. Baba Yaga's hut stood on its enormous chicken legs, scratching the bare earth restlessly, smoke curling ominously from its crooked chimney. Before Anya could even call out, the door slammed open. Baba Yaga stood framed in the doorway, her wild hair like a storm cloud, her iron teeth gleaming in the moonlight. Her fury was a physical force, making the trees shudder. Who dares disturb Ali Baba Yaga? She shrieked, her voice like cracking ice. What have you stolen, wretched thief? She raised a gnarled hand, crackling with dangerous power, ready to punish the intruder who dared approach her domain. Anya's heart hammered against her ribs, pure terror freezing her for a moment. But she saw the mortar in her arms glow brighter, humming with a mix of recognition and apprehension. This gave her a sliver of courage. Instead of fleeing or begging, Anya took a small, shaking step forward. She didn't hide the mortar. She lifted it slightly, her voice thin but clear against the witch's fury. I stole nothing, grandmother, she said, using the respectful term. I found your mortar lost and weeping in the woods. It was so sad, so terribly alone. I only wanted to bring it back to you, where it belongs. Tears welled in her own eyes, born of fear and the overwhelming emotion of the journey. She gently placed the mortar on the ground before the hut. A profound silence fell. Heavier than the witch's rage, Baba Yaga stared, first at the trembling girl, then at her beloved mortar. The ancient wood pulsed with warm light, humming a soft, familiar melody only Baba Yaga could truly understand. The witch's fierce expression faltered. She slowly descended from her porch, her movements losing their predatory edge. She approached the mortar, her bony fingers tracing its familiar carvings with a gentleness Anya wouldn't have believed possible. The mortar hummed louder, vibrating against her touch. Baba Yaga looked back at Anya, seeing the genuine tears, the mud on her dress, the utter lack of guile. A deep, complex emotion flickered in the witch's ancient eyes. Surprise, perhaps a long-forgotten warmth. Weeping? She murmured, her voice rough but no longer terrifying. Lost, and you brought it home? For the first time in centuries, Baba Yaga felt a pang that wasn't anger or hunger. Anya simply nodded. Wiping her cheek, Baba Yaga straightened, her usual imposing demeanor returning, but softened around the edges. She glanced from the mortar to the girl. You have courage, child, she stated, not kindly, but with a strange respect and a heart that sees. She gestured sharply. The mortar glowed brilliantly, then slowly, gracefully, floated up from the ground instead of returning immediately to the hut. It hovered near Anya for a moment, pulsing warmly, humming a gentle, grateful tune that vibrated in her bones. Then it floated to Baba Yaga's side. Go now, the witch said, her voice gruff but lacking menace. The woods are less dark tonight. As Anya turned to leave, heart still racing but filled with a strange lightness, she heard a final, barely audible whisper carried on the wind. Thank you. Back in the safety of her village, Anya would always remember the warmth of the mortar's hum and the unexpected softness in the fearsome witch's eyes. A reminder that even the wildest magic understands the profound ache of being lost and the healing power of being brought home.